Hello, hello. My name is Dawn Devine and welcome. This is part one of my 6-month documentation of the Costume from the Hip 30-year anniversary rewrite. I've been working on this project for several years now, and we're in the final 6 months. Our mission is to have the book done, ready, and released in March of 2027. That is 30 years after its official release at Ricasa 1997. But there's a little bit of origin story I'd love to share with you, and that's what I'll be covering in the next 10 minutes. So let's dive in. Back in 1993, this whole project started as a series of handouts for my belly dance club at the University of California, San Diego. I already had achieved an associate's degree in fashion design from Mesa College in San Diego, and I was working at the La Jolla Playhouse in the costume shop, making professional quality costumes. The belly dance group was interested in learning some techniques, so I put together a series of handouts and did some informal demos during our club meetings. My buddy Nancy, who we collaborated on many costumes, what is now called cosplay, we used to call it costuming, and we competed at science fiction conventions, and here we are at Comic-Con. This is an award-winning trio, although our third person had already gotten out of her costume by the time we took this photo. But in any case, my buddy Nancy talked me into, turning my handouts into a zine. I went, why not? It was a lark. I was out for summer. I wasn't taking any classes in the summer of 1993. So I decided to create the zine. Maybe I would sell some. My then husband Barry Brown and Nancy and a whole group of other people, including my friend John Sharman, who drew the original anime dancing girl on the front, we all sort of put it together. I bored my community and it was all quite exciting, but I didn't think it was going to turn into anything special. I thought I would sell a few maybe, and then it would be something I could put on my resume as when I was trying to get into graduate school. Nancy and I, together as a team, we went to the Belly Dance of the Universe competition. Now, this is not the 1993 flyer, but it's still going on. In case you want information, take a screen grab. My thought was that I would walk around with one of the 50 copies that we printed at Kinko's. I would walk around and show it to vendors because I didn't think I would be able to go to all kinds of belly dance events as a vendor. So I walked from vendor to vendor and showed them my books. On our first pass, we gave out copies to all of the vendors. Just, here's my book. If you're interested, please let me know. We can have some more printed. The first person I handed a book to was Audrina from Illinois, and she offered to buy the entire box. But as the summer of 1993 drew to a close, I decided to go head down, elbows up, fully invested in getting into graduate school. So I focused on my education. I focused on, being the best costume maker I could at the La Jolla Playhouse and to work towards getting into a master's program in costume history, art history, or design. So I really let go of Costume from the Hip. And between 1993 and 1997, we didn't print any more copies. It became a project of my past. And all that work paid off because I got into the master's program in art history and doing a double with a MFA in design at the University of California at Davis. Davis was conveniently located just one train ride away from Ricasa, the world's biggest belly dance event at that time. And so in 1996, I went to my first Ricasa, and there was Audrina again, and she asked me about the book. And unfortunately at that event, I found some bootleg copies that had been sold to a dealer who shall remain unnamed at this moment, who was sold and represented themselves as me. So I went home with the goal and the mission of making a new edition and re-releasing Costuming from the Hip and turning it into a tiny business because I knew I could go back to Ricasa the next year and sell my book. In the intervening years, Costuming from the Hip underwent 3 significant changes. So between 1993, when it was first released, and 1997, we expanded it, we updated it, we added a lot more content. And it was still a slender book. It was still just comb bound, but it was an improved product. In 2010, we discovered the new technology of print on demand, and we were able to reformat the book. So it changed aspects. So it's like it went from 8.5 by 11, regular sheet of paper, to 8 by 10 and perfect bound. So we created a whole new cover for it. The rewrite was minimal. We simply removed a lot of dated information, sort of like, the resources list, because by then, some of my favorite vendors were not really working anymore, and some of my best favorite stores were gone. But the new book is less of a rewrite and more of a major overhaul, a real sea change in the way I think about costuming. 30 years down my path, having been an educator, a sewing instructor, a design instructor, and an art historian, I have learned so much about how to share information. And, we've made a lot of books in between. So things like my drawings have improved. Our diagramming has improved. And while we will keep some of the original illustrations, we've decided to add quite a bit of other kinds of imagery from other books like this from Style File, and pictures. We're adding photographs like this image of Sarah Shrapnel from The Cloth of Egypt. We've nailed down our outline, and now we're ready to settle into the last 6-month push to get this book finished. Now, I'm one of those writers who is old school and writes by hand. I literally will write anywhere at any time. My mission right now is to go through all of my notebooks because I write on anything I have to hand. Everything gets put in a bin, and I have to go through everything, transcribe it into the computer, and, turn it into a book. It's got to go from notes to book format. And over the next 6 months, we're going to be making that happen. As you could tell by this video, there's a lot left to do. I've got drawings to draw, photo shoots to schedule, costumes to make. There's so many bits and pieces and details. If you would like to follow my journey and see how one person recrafts, expands, edits, and modernizes a 30-year-old DIY book, you can follow me on Patreon, where you can see these videos ad-free, or you can hit subscribe on YouTube. And I want to give a big shout out to everybody who owns a copy of the original Costuming from the Hip or the 2010 rewrite. I just want to thank you for your support over the years. I know that time changes, our vocabulary has changed, our priorities have changed, and frankly, style changes every single moment from designer to designer. So this is going to be a time capsule of what's going on here in 2026, an archive of what I've done over the past 30 years, and also a very handy, hands-on, more step-by-step version of Costuming from the Hip than has ever existed before. And I just want to thank you for your support as we grow and evolve and have this new book at the end of this project. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon about one of the aspects of rewriting a 30-year-old DIY book. Take care, be well, and I'll see you in the next video.